Hello students and welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Shefali Nagpal, Associate Professor at Human Resource Development Center, Bhagat Phool Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Sonipat. We are studying the paper Development of the Management Thoughts, Principles and Types. Today we will discuss about the module Performance Appraisal. On the completion of this module, you would be able to understand about the performance appraisal, to discuss and understand the method of performance appraisal and to know the implications of the performance appraisal. Let us begin with the introduction to the concept. Its roots in the early 20th century can be traced back to the Taylor's pioneering time and motion studies, but this does not very helpful, for the same may be said about almost everything in the field of modern human resource management. As a distinct and formal management procedure used in the evaluation of the work performance, appraisal really dates from the time of the Second World War, nearly about 70 or more years ago. Yet in a broader sense, the practice of performance appraisal is an ancient art. In the scale of the things historical, it might well lay claim on being the world's second oldest profession. There is, says Dewlvis in 1989, a basic human tendency to make judgment about those one is working with as well as about oneself. Appraisal, it seems, is both inevitable and universal. In the absence of the structured system, people tend to judge the work performance of others, including their subordinates, informally or arbitrarily. The hand-wired human inclination to judge can cause big problems in the workplace. Without a structured system of appraisal, there is a little, if any, chance of ensuring that such judgments can be accurate, fair and useful. Performance appraisal began as an attempt to rationally correlate rewards and outcome. That is, appraisal was used to decide whether or not the salary or wage of an individual employee was justified. The process was firmly linked to the material outcomes. If the employee performance was found to be less than ideal, there was a cut in the pay. On the other hand, if the performance was better than the superior expected, the pay rise was in order. Let us understand the concept of performance appraisal. It is a process of summarizing, assessing and developing the work performance of an employee. In order to be effective and constructive, the performance manager should make every effort to obtain as much objective information about the employee performance as possible. The performance appraisal is a review and a discussion of an employee performance of assigned duties and responsibilities based on the results obtained by the employee in their job, not on the employee's personality characteristics. Personality should be considered only when it relates to the performance of the assigned duties and responsibilities. It is a structured formal interaction between the subordinate and superior and usually takes the form of the periodic interview, in which the work performance of the subordinate is examined and discussed with a view to identify the weaknesses and the strength as well as opportunities and the improvement and the skill development. In many organizations, but not all, appraisal systems results are used either directly or indirectly to help determine the rewards. That is, appraisal results are used to identify the better performing employees who should get the majority of the available merit pay, increases, bonuses and promotions. Let us now understand the various definitions of performance appraisal given by the various scholars. Dale S. Beach has explained performance appraisal is systematic evaluation of the individual with respect to his or her performance on the job and his or her potential for development. Randall has explained performance appraisal is a formal structured system of measuring and evaluating an employee job, related behavior and outcomes to discover how and why the employee is presently performing on the job and how the employee can perform more effectively in the future so that the employee, organization and society all benefit. According to Hale, it is a process of evaluating the performance and qualification of the employees in terms of requirement of the job for which he is employed, for purpose of administration including placement, selection of promotion, providing financial rewards and other actions which require differential treatment among the members of the group as distinguished from the actions affecting all members equally. In terms of Dale Yoder, performance appraisal include all formal procedure used to evaluate personalities and contributions and potentials of group member in working organization. It is a continuous process to secure information necessary for making correct and objective decisions on employees. Let us understand what is performance. What does the term performance actually mean? Employees are performing well when they are productive. Productivity implies both concern for effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness refers to the goal accomplishment. However, it does not speak of the cost incurred in reaching that goal. That is where efficiency comes in. Efficiency evaluates the ratio of the input consumed to the output achieved. Greater the output for a given input, greater is the efficiency. It is not desirable to have objective measures of productivity such as hard data on effectiveness, number of units produced or percent of crimes solved, etc., and hard data on efficiency. In addition to the productivity as measured in the term of effectiveness and efficiency, performance also includes personal data such as measurement of accidents, turnover, absentees and tardiness. That is, a good employee is the one who not only performs well in the term of productivity but also minimizes problem of the organization by being to work on time, by not missing days and by minimizing the number of the work related accidents. What is appraisal? Appraisal are judgments of characteristics, traits and performance of others. On the basis of these judgments, we assess the worth or value of others and identify what is good and bad. In industry, performance appraisal is a systematic evaluation of employees by supervisors. Employees also wish to know their position in the organization. Appraisals are essential for making any administrative decision, selection, training, promotion, transfer, wage and salary administration, etc. Besides, they aid in personal research. Performance appraisal thus is a systematic and objective way of judging the relative worth of ability of an employee in performing his task. The performance appraisal helps in identify those who are performing their assigned task well and those who are not and reasons for such performance. Performance appraisal is a term applied to the variety of the process that involves the assessment and the development of the individual and their performance at work. In the UK, performance appraisal has been with us for the best part of the century. While it is to a large extent about evaluating person's performance at work, the three key issues are worth bearing in mind: that it is a two-way process. As much as the employer wishes to measure and understand an employee's performance, the employee wishes to gain something from the process. Second, it is about the development of the staff as well as about assessing their performance. It is about exploring the appraisee's potential for development in terms of their career. Thirdly, there is an important issue about the extent to which one looks at overall picture of the individual and why they bring the workplace beyond doing the basic job, task and activities. Some of the terminology can be confusing with regard to the performance appraisal. In this unit, we use performance appraisal to describe the process of collecting and using data about the employee's performance. Just does not refer to the performance appraisal interview. You might see other terms used in the literature such as performance review or performance management. These are slightly broader terms than performance appraisal. Need or objective of the performance appraisal or performance assessment. First, it serves as a yardstick to plan the various things regarding the employee like salary revisions, empowerment, training and development, promotion, remuneration, demotions, terminations, etc. They also help the superior to narrate an employee about his performance and suggesting or guiding needed changes in his behavior, attitude, skills, knowledge and dedication. Performance assessment reports are always, they provide a base for the coaching and counseling of the individuals in the employees in the organization and as well as for the self-control. Performance appraisal in any organization will be done at the specific period like annually or half yearly or quarterly or maybe regularly. It all depends upon the nature and the size of the organization and sometimes necessity of the manager decide the period of performance appraisal for their employees. Most of the organizations are insisting employee appraisal should be a continuous process and should not be limited to a formal review once a year. The frequency of the formal appraisals will depend upon the nature of the organization and its objectives of the system. For example, in a high technology organization, objectives may be changing quickly. For that, formal appraisals may need to be carried out more than once a year. In an environment which is less subject to change, annual appraisals may be sufficient. Most employees receive a formal appraisal annually, although more frequent appraisals are often needed for the new employees, for long-serving staff who have moved to the new post, or those who are below acceptable performance standards. Let us now study the advantages of performance appraisals in the industry. The following are the advantages of the performance appraisal. One is the basis for the promotion and demotion. Performance appraisal help the supervisors or the managers to chalk out the plan or the career path for the promotion of an employee or the demotion of the inefficient workers. Second is compensation. It also helps in designing the compensation packages for the employees. Based upon their performance appraisal, they may give the different compensation packages like salary, higher salary rates, extra benefits, allowances or bonus or prerequisites. The criteria should be the merit rather than seniority if the individual performance evaluation is possible. Third is employees development. The systematic procedure of the performance appraisal help the manager to design the training programs for their employees. They help to analyze the strength and the weaknesses of the employee, and thus they can also be prepared for the higher jobs, and this help in framing the future development programs too. Fourth is to check the selection criteria. It helps the superiors or the board to take or to understand the validity and the importance of the selection procedure. The supervisors or the managers or the HR or the personal manager who hire, they may use the certain or change the certain selection criteria at the beginning of the procedure. Next is communication. Effective communication between the employees and the employers is very crucial. Through this performance appraisal, it can be coordinated in the following way, that through the appraisal, the employers can understand and accept the skills of the subordinates. They can also analyze trust and confidence building in the superiors. It helps in maintaining the cordial and the congenial relationship between the employer and the employee. It also develops the spirit of the team and boosts the morale of the employees. Next is motivation. It also acts as a motivation tool. The employee shall feel motivated, and if the targets are not achieved, one may show their lagging part to improve their efficiency and motivate them for the better job and help them to improve their performance in the future. Numerous methods have been devised to measure the quality and the quantity of the performance appraisal. Each of the method is effective for some purpose for some organizations only. None should be dismissed or accepted as appropriate except they relate to the particular needs of the organization or an employee. Broadly, all methods of appraisal can be divided into the two categories. One is past oriented method, another is future oriented method. Past oriented methods. First is rating scales. This is the simplest and the most popular technique for appraising all the employee performance. This typical rating scale system consists of the several numerical scales, each representing job-related performance criteria such as dependability, initiative, output, attendance, attitude, cooperation, and many more. Each scale ranges from an excellent to poor. The number of the points scored may be linked to the salary increases, whereby so many points equal to rise of some percentage. The advantages of such kind of scale is adaptability, easy to use, it's very low cost, every type of job can be evaluated, there are large number of employees can be covered in it, and no formal training is required to perform these kind of scaling. But there is also the disadvantage of it, that there is a fear of raters' biasness. Second is checklist. The checklist appraisal format lists down the various employees' traits which would be ticked off in yes or no check boxes. The rater has an easy task with the checklist appraisal format by ticking the preferred checkbox on the list based on the personal perception before passing the checklist form to the HR department for compilation and reports. The advantages of this type of format include it is low in cost, very easy to administer, and very little training is required to assess it, and it has a standard format of assessing. But the disadvantages of this is there may be a biasness in the rater, there are improper weights given by the human resource, there are discrete rating values only. The third is the forced choice method. This method was evolved by the Tiffin to eliminate the central tendency of the rating most of the employees at the higher end of the scale. The method assumes that employee performance conforms to a normal statistical distribution, that is 10, 20, 40, 20 or 10%. This is useful for rating a large number of employees' job performance and promotionability. It tends to eliminate or reduces the biasness. It is very simple to understand and easy to apply. It suffers from the drawback that improve similarity, no single grade would rise in a rating. The advantages are in the absence of the personal biasness because of the forced choice, and the disadvantages is the statement may be wrongly framed. The fourth type of the method is the forced distribution method. This forced choice method is developed by J.P. Guilford. It contains a series of the groups of the statement, and rater rates how effectively a statement describes each individual being evaluated. The common method of forced choice method contains two statements, positive and negative. Here the employees are clustered around a high point on the rating scale. Rater is compelled to distribute the employees on all points of the scale. It is assumed that the performance is conformed to the normal distribution. The disadvantages of this kind of the method is it is based on the assumption of the normal distribution, it is unrealistic, and there are errors of the central tendency. The next method is the critical incident method. In this method, the rater focuses on his or her attention on those key or critical behavior that makes a difference between performing a job in the noteworthy manner. The advantage of this kind of method is evaluations are based on the actual job behavior. Ratings are supported by the description, feedback is easy, reduces the biasness of the rater, chances of the subordinate improvement are high. But there are also the disadvantages of it. It is the negative incidents can be prioritized, forgetting incidents, overly close supervision, feedback may be too much and may appear to be a punishment in a sense. The next approach is behaviorally anchored rating scales. Behaviorally anchored scales, sometimes called as behavioral expectation scales. These are the rating scales whose scale points are determined by the statement of effective and ineffective behavior. They are said to be behaviorally anchored in that the scale represents a range of descriptive statement of behavior ranging from the least to the most effective. The rater must indicate the behavior on each scale which best describe the employee's performance. The advantages of this kind of method is it helps in overcoming the rating errors, but it also suffers from the disadvantage of distorting the most rating techniques. Another method is field review method. When there is a reason to suspect the rater biasness, his or her rating appears to be quite higher than the others. These are neutralized with the help of review process. This review process is usually conducted by the personnel officer in the HR department. The advantages of this kind of method is it is useful for the managerial level promotions when comparable information is needed. And the disadvantage is outsider is generally not familiar with the employee's work environment. Observation of the actual behavior is not possible. Then performance test and observation. This is based on the test of knowledge or skills. The appraisal technique tests knowledge and skill in written or actual form. Reliable tests are required to be formulated and validated in order to be unbiased. The advantages of this technique is It helps in the formulation of the tests which are focused to evaluate the potential. But the disadvantages is high cost of test formulation and administration. Another method is confidential records, mostly used by the government department. However, its application in the industry is not ruled out. Here the report is given in the form of the annual confidentiality report and may record the ratings with respect to the following items, that is attendance, self-expression, teamwork, leadership, initiative, technical ability, reasoning ability, originality, resourcefulness, etc. The advantage of this type of the system, it is highly secretive and confidential. Feedback of the employee is given only in the case of the adverse entry. And the disadvantage of this kind of technique is that it is highly subjective and the rating can be manipulated because the evaluations are linked to the HR actions like promotions, etc. Another is essay method. In this method, the rater writes down the employee description in detail within the number of the broad categories like overall impression of the performance, promote ability of the employee, existing capabilities and qualification of performing jobs, strength and weaknesses, training needed by the employee. The advantage is it is extremely useful in filling the information gaps about the employee that often occur in the better structured checklist. But the disadvantage is it is highly dependent upon the writing skills of the rater, and most of them are not the good writers. They may get confused and the success depends upon the memory power of the raters also. Next method is cost accounting method. Here the performance is evaluated from the monetary return yield to his or her organization. Cost to keep employee and benefit of organization derives is ascertained. Here it is more dependent upon the cost and benefit analysis. Comparative evaluation method is the next, which is popularly called as ranking and paired comparisons. These are the collection of the different methods that compare performance with that of the co-workers. The usual techniques used may be the ranking method and paired comparison method. Ranking methods. Superior ranks his worker based on the merit from best to worst. However, how best and why best are not elaborated in this method. It is easy to administer and explain. Paired comparison method. In this method, each employee is rated with another employee in the form of pair. The number of comparisons may be calculated with the help of the following formula. Now let us discuss the future-oriented methods. The first is management by objective. It means management by objective and the performance is rated against the achievement of the objective stated by the management. MBO processes goes on under as establishing the goals and desired outcome for each subordinate, setting performance standards, comparison of the actual goal with the goal attained by the employees, establish the new goals and new strategies for goal not achieved in the previous year. The advantages is that it is useful for the managerial positions, but it also accompanies with the disadvantage that it is not applicable to all jobs. Allocation of the merit pay may result in setting short-term goals rather than the important and the long-term goals. Another is psychological appraisals. These appraisals are more directed to assess employees' potential for future performance rather than the past one. It is done in the form of in-depth interviews, psychological tests, and discussions with the superior or managers and review of other evaluations. It is more focused on employee emotional, intellectual and motivational and other personal characteristics affecting his or her performance. This approach is slow and costly and may be useful for the bright young members who may have considerable potential. However, quality of these appraisals largely depend upon skill of psychologists who perform the evaluation. Third is assessment center. This technique was first developed in USA and UK in 1943. An assessment center is a central location where managers may come together to have their participation in the job related exercises evaluated by the trained observers. It is more focused on the observation of the behavior across a series of the selected exercises or work samples. Assessees are requested to participate in basket exercises, work groups, computer simulations, role-playing and other similar activities which require the same attributes for successful performance in actual job. The characteristics assessed in the assessment center can be assertive, pervasive, ability, communicating ability, planning and organizational ability, self-confidence, resistance to stress, energy level, decision making, sensitivity to feelings, administrative ability, creativity, mental alertness, etc. The disadvantage of this type of technique is cost of employees traveling and lodging, psychologist rating strongly influenced by the assessee's interpersonal skill. Solid performers may feel suffocated in simulated situations. Those who are not selected for this also may get affected. But it is advantageous because it is well conducted assessment center can achieve better forecast for the future performance and progress than other method of appraisal. Also, its reliability, content validity and predictive ability are said to be high in assessment centers. These tests also make sure that the wrong people are not hired or promoted. Finally, it clearly defines the criteria for the selection and promotion. Another technique or another method is 360-degree feedback. It is a technique which is systematic collection of the performance data on individual, group, derived from the number of the stakeholders like immediate superiors, supervisors, team members, customers, peers and self. In fact, anyone who has useful information on how an employee does a job may be one of the appraisers. This technique is highly useful in terms of the broader perspective, self-development and multi-source feedback is useful. 360-degree appraisals are useful to measure interpersonal skills, customer satisfaction, team building skills. However, on the negative side, receiving the feedback from the multiple sources can be intimidating, threatening, etc. Multiple raters may be less adept to providing balanced and objective feedback. This is shown in the diagram below. Now see the use of the performance appraisal. It can be used for promotion, confirmation, training and development, compensation reviews, competency building, improved communication, evaluation of the HR programs, feedback and grievances. In this module, we have studied the meaning of the performance appraisal. It is a process of summarizing, assessing and developing the work performance of an employee, which is reviewed on the basis of the employee performance of the assigned duties and responsibilities and is based on the result obtained by the employee in the job in the organization. That is all. Thank you.